video. So this is our cucumber farm. Like I told you the last time, we're going to do another cucumber session. The simple reason is because we were going to transplant our tomatoes here, but we realized that, you know what, why not just do cucumber? We have such a large farm there already for tomatoes, so why not just explore our cucumber farm, right? So this is our cucumber farm, right? So in a short while, I'm going to be showing you in detail. I'm going to be showing you what's coming on. We had just transplanted, so we had a challenge with transplanting where we transplanted and we didn't have rainfall for maybe 2-3 days. And of course, cucumber is a heavy feeder, requires a lot of water to thrive, so we needed water. So what we did was we laid our drip tape. Initially we didn't lay our drip tape at all, but we had to lay our drip tape. Now, simple advice I would advise you here is that never embark in a farming process without your adequate source of water, right? Particularly if you're doing tomato, cucumber, bell pepper, and the likes. So if you want to transplant, particularly, try to transplant, if you're using just rainfall, transplant immediately after a rainfall, right? Such that you know, immediately after a rainfall, a day after a rainfall, such that you know that there is still adequate water in your soil, enough to enhance the germination process, enough for it to sprout, right? And then you can now carry out other process like waiting for rainfall for it to grow and all that stuff. But in terms of the initial stage, you need to make sure that there is at least adequate water on the soil. So we had to now lay our drip tape, but coincidentally, just after laying our drip tape, the same day we laid our drip tape, we had heavy rainfall. Subsequently, we had rainfall the next day, we had rainfall the third day afterwards, and we didn't even have to water anymore, right? So this is just me carrying you through this very cucumber season and farming, right? As you can see the farm right now, you realize that we have not laid our we've not done our bamboo, we've not put our bamboo, which is our pegging and all that stuff. We will do that, right, eventually. So I'm going to walk you through it and show you a little bit of this here and there. So as you can see right here, you can see these are bamboos. This bamboo, these are the ones we've laid already. This is our hose, and these are drip tapes through the farm already. You can see all these bamboo have been put at different strategic positions, such that we're just waiting for our cucumber to grow and sprout reasonably, and then we will start pegging. I'm just going to show you some of the cucumber that have sprouted already. So this is a cucumber, this is cucumber, this is one, so this is another, this, all right. So this is actually a beauty to behold, because eventually this actually grows to become a very long plant that wraps itself around the bamboo we're going to be planting, and of course subsequently the ropes we're going to be using to tie them. Now, if you look critically at the farm, one thing we've realized is that in terms of the cucumber, we have some growing already on this part of the farm. It's like half the farm, this region, and this region hasn't yet, because this was planted afterwards. This was planted first and this followed, and for this part that was planted first, almost all of the ridges have their cucumber sprouting already, right? All right, so basically that's that. So what are the standard agricultural practices that we carry out in terms of cucumber farming? Now we have transplanted. Now, firstly, you have to apply your manure before you transplant, right? But we didn't do that here because our land already is very fertile because of the last cucumber and the lots of manure that we transplanted, and we only used it for one farming season, harvested pretty early, and that was it. We didn't use it again. But we still have our manure, which we're going to be using, which we're going to be applying once our cucumber sprouts reasonably. This will be after our pegging, of course, or before our pegging and tying and everything. Now, after doing that, we're going to wait. Cucumber is different from tomato. For tomato, you wait for, so that's the tomato farm. This is cucumber farm, right? So for tomato, you wait 14 days before you apply your first fertilizer. But for cucumber, the reverse is the case. So once sprouting is, because cucumber generally is 6 weeks, right? So it's a month and 2 weeks until harvest, which is the contrary with tomato is 90 days. That's like 3 months. Cucumber is barely a month plus. And so you see, you have to apply your fertilizer pretty very early. So we have planted already, it's sprouting already. So because of the issue we had with rainfall, it didn't sprout early on. So we are going to start counting from when this sprouting actually occurred. So in another 5 days, 6 days, this would have grown considerably, and I'll show you, right? I'll tag you along. So what you need to do next is to apply your fertilizer. Now, a lot of people would lean towards using urea, which is nitrogen-based fertilizer, but I'm going to be using NPK, which is NPK 1515, which is nitrogen, P, phosphorus, and potassium. That's what we're going to be using for here, and we're going to be applying our fertilizer every 5 days. Now, in the midst of that, we would use our insecticide, we use our fungicide, we use our foliar fertilizer. So it's literally like everything you would do for a tomato farm, you would repeat for cucumber. The difference is simply that the frequency with which you do it for cucumber is more. That's basically it. Now, for someone wondering, how do I plant my cucumber? Do I do a nursery? Do I plant it directly into the soil? The answer is very simple. Plant it directly into the soil. That's what I do. But you can do your nursery. For a cucumber nursery, it takes 6 to 9 days to 11 days for it to be matured enough for transplant, right? I'm changing my hands because my hands kind of sore. It takes 6 to 11 days for it to be matured enough for transplant. But again, sometimes I feel it's time consuming for you to first of all do the nursery, buy your cocoa peat, all of these shenanigans that cost money. So you can just plant directly. The last time we planted directly, which is what we repeated this time around, right? So look at how beautiful this is. In a short while, you're going to see bamboo sticks all over this farm, and in another short while, we're going to tie our ropes, tie our bamboo, our cucumbers. Do not worry, if this is your first time on this channel, you just hit on the subscribe button, hit on the notification button, so that anytime I drop a video, you'll be among the very first to get notified. So I'm going to be actually updating you as the journey proceeds and progresses, right? I will be updating you and telling you how it goes, what I'm doing. So if you ever want to farm cucumber or do this kind of farming, you don't have to bother about where do I learn from. Just come on this channel and just binge watch all of the videos that I have created, will be creating. So I think what I'll do eventually by the end of the season is that I'm going to be creating a playlist for cucumber. So it's pretty much going to be easy, right? So I'll see you in my next video.